Hi, friends. I hope you are having a wonderful day. Man alive, I have a story to tell you. So I'm sitting down real briefly before I have to leave again in 10 minutes. And here's why. So last night I finished a ukulele class. I had another beginner class from 7 to 8, and it was a Zoom class, so I was home. It was great. Class went well. I was just thinking like, wow, that felt so good. It's just so fun to see new players accomplish so much. Hi, puppy. In just 4 short weeks, right? So anyway, I see my phone ringing. I'm like, oh boy, why is Gabe calling me? Is he just calling me to say hi? I hope so. So I answer and he goes, hi. So I was with my friend and now my car won't start, which we've been having that issue already. Twice, 2 other times, about 6 to 8 weeks ago. So we thought that our issue was kind of on hold. They had told us, oh, you're going to need a new battery eventually because it wouldn't start. So I thought, okay, well, all right. So now's the time for the new battery, right? So he's with his friend. They had tried to jump it. It wouldn't jump. So we thought, well, we need the new battery. So by the way, he's 30 minutes from home. It's not even super close. So he's 30 minutes from home. I'm like, okay, I'm going to run to the garage, grab the new battery, which we'd already bought, thankfully. Thank the Lord that we had bought that already. And I drive down to meet him 30 minutes away. And it's by this point like 9 o'clock at night. So it's getting late, right? And so I point my headlights at the car. We successfully, I think, changed the battery in and we're thinking like, woo, we got this, right? Like, this is going to be great. We're going to be able to drive home, no big deal, and we can feel like those super successful people that fixed part of their car, right? Well, let's just say it didn't quite work out that way because we got the new battery in and we got it pretty much secured, and then we tried starting it wouldn't start. I'm like, okay, well, maybe we need to jump it. But then, long story short, he left his jumper cables in his friend's car on accident, so we had to run and find somebody to borrow some from. So thankfully, the restaurant he had eaten at, somebody let him borrow their jumper cables. So thank the Lord, number 2, that we already had the battery, and now we found somebody to borrow jumper cables from. And then what happened after that was hey girls, hey, I know you want to run and play because you haven't played enough in the last couple days. Okay, so anyway, so we just let it sit and hopefully charge. Didn't charge. Hey, Reese, come here. And so then we ended up leaving it there overnight. We were like, what do we do? Do we try and tow it? And by this point, it's like 10:15, and we're still 35 minutes away from home. So we're like, well, it's gonna be late by the time we figure out what we're doing. So we returned the jumper cables. We left the car. Thankfully, it was fine staying in that particular parking lot overnight. And then we this morning brought or had it towed to a place that was kind of close by, but they needed the keys. So then I got to take Gabe to work this morning, and then I babysat for a friend this morning after that, and then I got to run down 30 minutes away from home again to give them the keys. And as I was driving there on the way to drop the keys off, it was super sunny, and it was a really nice day, a little windy, but really nice, and I just thought to myself, like, wow, God, you've been teaching me so much about how to be interruptible. So, and what I mean by that is, like, we run around and we have all our plans for our day, right? We have all of our plans for our life, really. And at one point, somebody recently had said, I want to be interruptible, where God can change the plans and I'm okay with it, right? I'm not super feathers ruffled, like frustrated, all the bleh and the negativity spills out, right? But no, and so that had really stuck with me when my friend had shared that a couple weeks ago. And so it's been kind of a recurring thing in my mind for the last couple weeks. And I just thought to myself, I had to laugh on the drive home when it was super sunny out. I had KTIS radio station playing. It was super nice. And I'm thinking, this would be so much of a different story a year ago when I taught public school and I had a full-time job. And I was really busy and stressed out anyway. But it's such a different story this week, right? Yes, it's not what I planned. Yes, it kind of runs into the things that I'm trying to get done. And I am working on some new ideas, which I think I referenced before, and I have a natural energy challenge coming up in April, so I'm busy talking to people about who are interested in that. And there's so many things that I need to be doing, right? But at the same time, I have that time freedom now that I never would have had a year ago. And it would have been so stressful a year ago to try and take Gabe to work and to try and take keys down here and to figure out the car there. And I'm just realizing, God, you have made me so much more interruptible. I would have been so much more stressed out. And I've changed a lot of things in the last year. I've changed some routines of my own. I've changed employment. I've changed how I respond to stress and how I support my emotions and my hormones. We are full beings, right? We are spiritual and physical and mental and emotional beings, all wrapped up into one. So when we change one thing, that can change something else too, right? And I've changed and grown so much in the last year to 2 years that it was just really cool for me to reflect a little bit on the drive home and to think about how I would have responded so differently to this situation a year ago. And even though it's not a resolved situation, we probably still have a car repair we need to pay for. Like, oh well, right? But I'm still able to laugh about it and think like, oh, it's not a big deal right now. Whereas a year ago, 2 years ago, I would have been super stressed out and crying this whole week and like in a tizzy about, this is not working out and getting in the way of plans or maybe having to take off work or who knows what. And it's like, I'm learning to hold my hand, hold my plans and my dreams and my goals and what I want to accomplish with an open hand and say, God, do what you want. Do what needs to be done. Maybe I am supposed to run into those people today, or maybe I'm supposed to interact with that mechanic today, or maybe that will put me in a position where I can connect with this person. And so I'm learning that, sometimes those things that are really inconvenient and interrupt our lives, in a sense, or interrupt our plans, sometimes that's exactly what God had in mind to reach someone else or to teach me something. And so that's one of the new things I'm learning, and I guess I'm relearning even again this week, is to be interruptible. So have any of you ever had a week like this where you're the car's not working and then this isn't happening and this and this and this and it's just kind of crazy? And I'm curious to hear a little bit about if you had a situation like that ever. And then has God ever been teaching you about that kind of being interruptible thing? I'd be really curious to hear some of your stories on that. And I look forward to connecting with you. So have the best afternoon, regardless of what happens in your circumstances. I'm going to have the best day, even though my plans have changed a little from what I had originally desired. But I'm looking forward to seeing what God is going to continue to teach me and what he's going to continue to do in and through Gabe and I, through even a little experience like this week. Have an awesome afternoon.